Kansas City, Missouri, site of Arrowhead Stadium, and the location of this outstanding matchup between Indianapolis and Kansas City. And now to Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth for the game. Tom?
With a beautiful day in the forecast, we'll get ready for today's game. Hi everyone, Tom Hammond here, along with Chris Collinsworth. Rushing fields it at the goal line. Both teams come into today's game pretty fired up. Let's go down to the field for the opening kickoff. And now their offense will take the field for the first time in the game. The defense lines up with 5 defensive backs. Indianapolis changing their play. A dive on the run. He gets out to about the 35-yard line. They get 3 yards on the play, and that will bring up second down. They line up at the 35. The Colts come out in the ace formation. The Colts changing their play at the line. He's dropped around the 42-yard line. A dive picks up about 7 yards on the halfback counter play. The offense has their big set on the field as they try to convert here on third down. The Colts changing their play at the line. They'll keep it on the ground again. It appears to be short. That was a poor series for this offense.
Yeah, the defense barely had to even break a sweat on that one. Defensively, when you can take an offense and get them off the field in 3 plays, that's pretty good stuff.
Punts it. He fields the punt at the 20. Cuts back, and he's dropped. That guy just showed off some pretty good skills on that return.
I thought for sure he was taking that one back to the house. You know, anytime you get a guy with that kind of skill level in the open field with a little room to run, good things are going to happen.
Hoyt on the handoff. Brought down at the 37. A 4-yard pickup by the fullback. Johnson alone in the backfield. Johnson on a counter left side. And he's hammered at the 41-yard line. Johnson gets about 4 yards on the play. The Chiefs come out showing 3 wide. On the run, he throws it. And that pass really wasn't even that close.
No, it really wasn't, Tom. And you've got to allow the receiver a little flexibility on the ball. You can't try and just drill the thing in there like that. Put some air under it.
Holquit punts it, and he really got a leg into this one. Fielded at the 19. He's tackled right around the 34-yard line. The offense takes the field, and we'll see if they can put something together after their last drive ended with a 3-and-out. Calling an audible. Manning with the give. Tackled at the 38. A dive gets 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7 situation here. Ball on the 38-yard line. Makes a change. He drops back to pass. Passes to his left. He's brought down at the 43-yard line. Nice little pitch and catch with the wideout.
Patience for a wide receiver is just so key. He's able to manipulate that defense, set them up one play, come back with the exact same look, and break off of it the next. Beautifully run.
Fakes the run. He's there for the catch. Brought down at the 26-yard line. That one worked just as they drew it up.
Good pass, good catch, I agree. Sometimes there's really nothing you can do as a defense to stop a well-executed pass play.
Here's a pitch left side. He's dropped around the 13-yard line. This running back just showed off some nice ability there.
Yeah, the offensive line did their job. They created enough of a seam to get him up into the secondary, and then he was able to explode from there.
Tennessee. I'm trying to get you over there, baby. Right 10. Let's get off.
Pitch out. And he's knocked out at the 8. They get around 5 yards from the halfback. The offense sets up 7 yards away. The offense lines up with 3 wide receivers. Indianapolis using an audible. A dive gets another handoff. He lost yardage on the play. There was no way that defensive end was letting him go by.
Really impressive play that time by this defensive line. It wasn't just one guy, but every guy up front just dominating their guy at the point of attack.
He's looking to throw. Short throw to the left. The backer picks it off. Into the end zone for a touchdown. Great play by the defender. He was able to take it for 6.
You know, some defensive players, you don't want to throw it in their zone because it might get intercepted. Some guys, you absolutely don't want to throw it there because they can turn it into a touchdown going the other way.
Lining up for the point after. Point after is good. Kansas City is up a score. He kicks it off. Fielded at the 4. He's hammered at the 30. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Manning doesn't like what he sees. They'll give it off here. Brought down at the 42. After that run, they might want to give him the ball a few more times.
I agree. It looks like the defense is a little tired out there. Whatever the case, they're having a tough time now stopping the run.
Manning calls an audible.
10. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Watch the hard count. Move up.
Fakes to the back. Batted away. They can't complete the pass, and now the offense will be looking at second down. They line up at the 42. Indianapolis at a 4-wide set. Adjustment at the line now. He drops back to pass. He throws it. Threw it right to him, but he can't hang on. Adai was the intended receiver on the play, and it falls incomplete. Adai lines up as the single back. Manning doesn't like what he sees. Manning calls for motion left. Manning back to throw. Takes a shot deep to the right. Pollard bats it down. And the pass will fall incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
And those are the kind of big third down plays you have to have on defense to get the ball back and give your team a chance on offense.
Smith kicks it away. And did he ever get a hold of this one? He fields it at the 17. He's dropped at the 30. It looked for a moment that he might take that one all the way back.
Boy, that was a close one for the coverage team. They were able to wrap him up before he broke it open, but he is on the brink. This coverage team is going to have to start playing with a little more intensity, a little more heart, or they're going to give up a big one.
Croyle looking to throw. Looking for an open man. Sanders catches it. Interception. He's brought down at about the 47-yard line. And the safety made a really nice play on the ball to grab that interception.
You know, this safety is known for his big hits, but that time it was his soft hands that made the difference.
The Colts changing their play at the line. Brought down at the 47-yard line. He might have gotten a yard at best.
Well, that time the outside linebacker came on the run blitz. They got some penetration and shut down the play.
They're calling an audible. Manning sends a man in motion. Under heavy pressure. Almost picked. Harrison was his intended target on that one, but they can't complete the pass. Manning is under center. Single backfield this time. Trying to change the play. Manning drops back. Here's the deep throw. This one falls incomplete, and they fail to connect on the deep shot downfield.
Ordinarily, this is a quarterback that has pretty good touch on the ball, but he really never gave his receiver a chance on that one.
He punts it. Into the end zone for a touchback. On his last drive, the quarterback completed a pass, but to the other team. Throwing another one could be disastrous to this offense. The defender gets him to the ground. That was an excellent run there to pick up the first.
Yes, sir. He really found a nice hole, was able to exploit it for a good gain. They're going to have to do a better job getting in those running lanes if they're going to stop him consistently.
Back to pass. He throws on the run. Tackled at the 44-yard line. That pass is good for a first down.
And he had some zip on that one, didn't he? He reared back and threw that one about as hard as he could.
Single back formation. Drops back on first down. Short throw to the right. And he's drilled at the 49-yard line. Poe picks up about 5 yards with the catch. That'll bring up second down. The Colts bring in the nickel package.
Let's get off. Zebra. Let's stop the run first. Let's stop. Hey, watch the sideline. Rainbow.
Looks to pass. Rifles it to the left. He's pushed out at the 35. And a nice pass to the tight end.
So much of the game today revolves around those substitution packages, trying to bring extra defensive backs on the field to try and help against the pass. But when you have a big receiving tight end, that really makes that plan awfully tough to execute.
He's dropped for a loss. This defense is definitely not afraid to use their safeties in run support.
And as a quarterback, you have to start to recognize that. You just can't allow that safety to keep sniffing around that eighth man in the box and not throw the football. Essentially, they're daring this offense to throw it, and they're not taking advantage.
Handoff up the middle. Dropped behind the line. So the halfback loses about 2 on the run. Third and 14 coming up here. Ball on the 38. Smith lines up as the single back.
Let's get off this field, man. Other side. Scatter.
Back to pass. Throws while on the run. It's intercepted. Well, he looked like he was in the right place at the right time.
Unless you're the quarterback, then he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
One-man backfield. Manning doesn't like what he sees.
Left. Come on, lock him down.
Hands it to the back. He's brought down at about the 37-yard line. A dive gains about 5 yards on the run. Manning is under center. Single back formation this time. Manning calls an audible. Drops back to pass. He needs to get rid of it. He throws a bullet across the middle. That was a decent gain there on the pass.
Yeah, no hesitation whatsoever. He hit that back foot, planted, threw the ball, knew exactly what he wanted to do.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 44-yard line. Manning comes to the line under center. Single back backfield this time. Manning changes the play at the line.
Let's go, keep playing. Let's keep him back, G. Come on, let's go.
Looking to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Leaping catch. He made the right read on that pass.
Nice play that time by the quarterback. You know, we talk about progressions and going from one receiver to the next, but this quarterback is doing a great job in the pre-snap read, knowing who the first guy will be and getting him the football.
They hand it off. He's hammered in the backfield. Big time play by the defensive end.
You know, listen, I would never want to block a defensive lineman. So, I've seen these guys. I know these guys. They're big and they're nasty. But at least from an offensive standpoint, you have to try to get in their way.
Manning drops to throw. Gets the throw away. And they get him at the 17. Talk about a throw.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about one like that being intercepted. Nobody on the defensive side could have caught that bullet.
Indianapolis lines up with 3 receivers. The Colts changing their play at the line. play fake. He's under pressure. Catch is made. Brought down right around the 10-yard line. 5-yard pickup on the play pass that time. On the 11 now. 3 wide receiver set. Indianapolis using an audible. A dive on the run. Tackled around the 10-yard line. A dive gains about a yard on the play. 3rd and 3 coming up. Manning comes to the line. 3 wide formation. Indianapolis changing their play. Third and short, and they'll throw for it. And it's caught. And he scores. What a play!
Sure, Peyton Manning has a great arm, and he knows how to read defenses and all that. But I think the thing that really goes unnoticed sometimes about Peyton Manning is his competitive streak. When you talk to Peyton Manning, it is all about football, and it's with an enthusiasm that's infectious.
Point after is good. Here's a quick look at the drive summary. And here's the kick. Charles fields it at the 2. Hit and dropped at the 32-yard line. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. Hold everything. We have a flag on the play.
Holding. Offense.
It looked like he got a handful of jersey on that one.
Well, you hold with your hands, but more often than not, holding is created by not moving your feet. There, clearly, he didn't get his feet in position, so he had no choice but to hold.
Looking to throw. With the pass. And they get him at the 41-yard line. And another connection that goes for good yardage.
And we really see the trust that is developing between this receiver and the quarterback. That if the quarterback has confidence that you're going to be where he thinks you're going to be, he will throw it to you more often than he'll throw it to somebody else.
Drops back to pass. Throws the bullet to the right. Deflected and broken up. What an effort out there. He just got his hands in there and broke it up.
I love watching the closing speed of this defense. When they see the ball, they go get it.
Individuals will be escorted from the stadium.
Gets the pass away. Brought down at about the 47-yard line. He ran a clean route, and the quarterback got it to him with a good pass. First down.
And you can tell there's a lot of confidence between these two guys. The quarterback has faith in these tough situations to go to that receiver and make big plays.
Johnson gets it on the inside. Makes a cut, and he will be hit and dropped. A nice 6-yard gain by the halfback. Kansas City lines up with 3 receivers. Hands it to the back. He's brought down at the 38. I have to say, that was an impressive run on the play.
That's the reason you have to just keep giving a guy like this the football. He's able to convert those first downs and wear down a defense.
Play fake. Here's the throw. Is there for the catch. Short pattern results in a completion for the offense.
You know, that's not one of those plays that's a huge gain by any means, but that's really the essence of an offensive game plan. You have to start hitting some of those short intermediate routes, and that begins to open everything else up.
He's looking to throw. Looks for a man open. And he catches another. He's tackled right around the 20-yard line. The defense just didn't match up well on that play.
Yeah, tough to match up one-on-one in man coverage against that wide receiver. He's pretty good.
One-man backfield. Johnson on the give. They tackle him for a loss. The defense got the job done on that play.
Yeah, you could really see the defensive end on that one, controlling his blocker, biding his time, and simply waiting there to make the play.
Little handoff. And they get him at the 18-yard line. They get 2 yards.
And that's why you send all those guys to plug up the holes, and that time there were no holes, really, and he was lucky to get anything on the play.
Gonzalez motions to the left side. Back to pass. The defense has him surrounded. And he caught it. He's in. Touchdown. The pass was caught by the halfback, and they'll put up a 6-spot.
This halfback can just do it all. He really can. Tremendous runner, tremendous catcher of the football, and he just has a way of finding the end zone.
This should add the extra point. Set down. The kick is up. Kansas City is up 7. And here's your drive summary for that last series. Not a bad kick. He'll return it from the 3. Drilled at the 27. They were able to put together a nice drive on their last possession. They'll be looking to make it 2 in a row on this drive. Only one man back. Manning changes the play at the line.
Here we go, team. Left. Come on, baby.
Here's the halfback. He's dropped at the 30. That's 4 yards on the play. That brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 6 coming up here. Manning is in the shotgun. He has 3 receivers. He's changing things up. He drops back. Throws it short. Tackled around the 37-yard line. He makes the catch, and Chris, that'll move the chain.
And they're doing it with short ball control type passes. This is the type of offense that really frustrates a defense.
They go with the toss. He got depleted. Tried to go off tackle, but the defense was waiting right there.
A lot of defensive coordinators really believe in trying to take away the inside gaps and force the back to bounce to the outside, believing that in this league, in this day and age, there's too much speed to really be effective going outside.
Brought down right around the 44-yard line. And they completed for a gain of 9 on the slant route. The offense lines this one up in shotgun with 2 tight ends. Manning doesn't like what he sees. It's a pass on 3rd and short, looking for a receiver. Pass is complete, and they get him at the 46-yard line.
Peyton Manning is just the prototypical NFL quarterback, probably the surest bet week in and week out, a perennial Pro Bowler, arguably the best quarterback in the league.
Passes it out. He leaps. It's caught. He's tackled at the 18-yard line. That was a pretty nice play.
And the wide receiver saved the quarterback there. Anytime you get a ball up in there, you're in danger of a tip ball, an interception, but good strong hands that time by the wideout.
Manning changes the play at the line. Little handoff. He's dropped around the 11-yard line. A dive gains 7 yards on that play. 11 yards out. Manning is in the gun. 3 receivers split out. The Colts changing their play at the line. He drops back to pass. Throws it short. And it's completed. He's brought down around the 4-yard line. It's complete for about 7 yards and a first down.
Uh-oh, look out. This quarterback's getting hot. He hasn't missed yet on this drive.
And now we'll see who can get the bigger push. Makes a change. It's the tailback. Hit and drop behind the line. Disappointing loss there for the offense.
Yeah, it really just throws you off rhythm to have a play that gains nothing. You know, you're going to get something, 2, 3, 4 yards, and it keeps you in that rhythm. But when a defense makes a play like that, it really throws your offense off.
Manning hands it off straight ahead. He's tackled at the 3. A pickup of about 3.
Well, that was the perfect time for them to call a blitz. They got in there, filled up all the gaps, brought down the running back for a short gain.
Changes this one at the line.
Reset.
Passes, end zone. The quarterback put that one too far out in front of his receiver, and he couldn't stay inbound.
He tried to make a safe throw there, but the receiver was open. It didn't have to be quite that cautious and just let him out of bounds.
The snap, set down, the kick is up.
Is good.
And we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. And here's the kick. Taken at the 5. Brought down at the 28-yard line. Their passing game led to a touchdown on their last drive, and you've got to think they won't deviate from what's been working. Croyle sends a man in motion. Back to pass. It appears that we have a flag on the play. Looked like someone got caught holding. Here's the official call.
Holding. Offense.
That seemed like the right call there.
Yeah, sometimes you have holding and sometimes you have tackling. That looked more like a tackle.
Johnson alone in the backfield. First down, looking to throw. Dumps it out right. Tackled at the 45. The tight end came up with a nice catch that time.
Pretty athletic play for a big guy. I tell you, as a quarterback, you see somebody make a play like that, you want to come back again and again.
Play fake. Throws on the run. Knocked away. The defender was able to get a hand on it.
And really, that came as a result of pretty physical play at the line of scrimmage. They're banging these guys around and not letting them get into their routes.
Blue 45. Blue 45. Come on, y'all. Watch those quick out. We fell asleep. Play it. And let's go. Roll along.
They give it to the tailback. He didn't get back to the line. That cornerback just made this offense look bad.
One of the tough things about trying to get a cornerback blocked is how athletic those guys are. If you're a fullback or an offensive lineman or somebody out in front trying to make that block, it's just tough to get a hand on those guys. They're quick.
He throws right. In and out of his hand. The defender gets a hand on it, and that will bring up 4th down.
I don't know if that's the guy I want to pick on 3rd down when you have to have a conversion. He is tough.
He punts it. It'll go out at the 25-yard line. The last time they took the field, they were able to come away with 3 points.
Let's go. Let's get something here.
Manning calls an audible. Play action. He wasn't set when he threw. Brought down at the 49-yard line. The defense was looking run, and they threw it for a big gain.
Well, when you have a talented running back like this, you always have to account for him. That time, a nice play-action pass, open it up down the field.
A dive on the give. And they get him right around the 44-yard line.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Let's stay with it. It ain't gotta be fun.
And so the defense
First
gives
down.
up some yards after the flag.
And I know this is a game of emotion, and if you're not emotional on the football field, you're going to get beat anyway, but you can't let your emotions get away from it.
Here we go. Hey, Rick. Hey, I'm wide. About to run. About to run. No. Mirror. Don't lose your ball.
And they'll run him again. Tackled at the 30. And the halfback has nowhere to go. From the 30-yard line. They come out in a nickel. Makes a change.
96 mirror. Solid. Close left. 10. Which way, Rob?
A dive takes the handoff. He's going to be tackled for a loss. 1 yard loss for the halfback. From the 31-yard line. A lot of speed on the field for the defense as they line up in the quarter. The Colts changing their play at the line. Looks to pass. Goes through his read. He makes another reception on the drive. Huge hit.
You know, you can say anything you want about Peyton Manning, the great size, the arm strength, all that other stuff, but I think that his study habits, what he knows about defenses, his coolness under pressure in big game situations, all that sets him apart.
He fights forward to around the 16. 2-yard gain. That'll bring up 2nd down. From the 16-yard line. Kansas City brings in the nickel here. Indianapolis changing their play. Drops back. Throws short. Nearly picked off. He should have had that one. The defender got there in time to break that play up.
He did. He was able to get his hands on the ball, but if he had missed that one might have turned into a really big play.
Manning doesn't like what he sees.
96 mirror. Hey, let's go now. I'm sorry, get over there, baby. Reload.
Hands it off. They finally bring him down, and it's 1st and goal. And they have a pretty nice drive going.
And the most important part of it is they've been able to get it done on the ground. Now that's 5 rushes so far on this drive and a 1st down.
The halfback with the carry. And he makes it out to about the 5-yard line. 3 yards on the run. 2nd down, goal to go. 5 yards to the goal line. Manning lines up under center. They'll line up in single back.
Inside. Play 3, man. Yeah.
Throws it short. They'll get in for the touchdown. And the wideout has his 2nd touchdown reception, and we're only in the first half, Chris.
And his hands are so strong that he really doesn't have to worry so much about catching the ball. You can see as soon as he catches the ball, he has his eyes on the pylons, and he's going in for the score.
Trying to go up by 3, they'll kick the extra point. Point after is good. Indianapolis holds a field goal lead. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. Kicks it off. He'll return it from the 6. He's tackled at the 30. The defense could do no wrong the last time this team had the ball. They'll start at the 30. Only one man back. Fakes the run. And he goes down. They had a tough time picking up the linebacker on the blitz.
We're starting to see a lot of these kind of guys come in the league, those who specialize in rushing the passer. So you'll see the defensive coordinator move them around a lot up front so that you can't be specific on who's going to try and block these great pass rushers.
Croyle will look to pass. Short throw. And he made a great open field tackle. Darling picks up about 4 yards with the catch. That'll make it 3rd down. The defense is waiting on the pass. They're in the quarter defense. Croyle drops back. Surveys the field. It's completed. Brought down at the 34. And for as good of a catch as that was, this offense now has to deal with a 4th down. Colquitt awaits the snap. Colquitt punts it, and he really got a leg into this one. Rushing, fields it at the 24. Hit hard at the 36-yard line. Their last drive ended in a touchdown, and they take the field again, hoping for a similar result. Out of the gun.
There we go.
The Colts changing their play at the line. Drops back. Passes to his right. And they get him at the 48-yard line. An impressive first half for the quarterback.
You know, I know there are a lot of people out there who like to watch defensive football games. Not me. I like to watch a guy throw it around like this. His quarterback's hot, and he knows it.
Over top, 2 straight. Hey, let's go, baby. Hey, don't lose your bite. Over right. Loosen.
Manning hands it off. He's hit hard on the play. Nothing doing. They stop him for a loss.
And I really like the discipline of this defense. You never see these guys trying to do too much. They control their gaps, and that time there was nowhere to go.
And there's 2 minutes remaining in the half. From their own 45-yard line. Indianapolis using an audible. Clark goes in motion to the left. Back to throw. Rockets it. And it's tipped away. And it's batted away at the last minute by the defender.
Just when it looked like the quarterback might sneak that one in there, a late pass defense and a good play.
Manning adjusts the play at the line. Manning sends a guy in motion to the right. He drops back to pass. On the run, he throws it. Tipped ball, intercepted. He's brought down at midfield. Nice pick for the safety.
You could see the quarterback that time trying to look the safety off, but this safety is simply too smart. He was having none of it and jumped in front to make the interception.
Proyle dropping back. Pass completed. He's dropped at about the 39-yard line. A nice-looking play that time.
Yeah, when you see the blitz, you have to understand your own protections, because if your protection is sliding away from the blitz, you have no choice but to get it out of there to the hot receiver.
Looks to pass. Passes to his left. It's incomplete. The quarterback led the receiver just a little too much.
Yeah, he put a little too much on that pass and forced the receiver to make the catch out of bounds.
The challenge on the call coming from upstairs now. Tough to see from our angle whether he caught that one or not.
And that's really a tough call no matter which angle you're looking at it from, because it looked to me like he was able to get his arms underneath that ball, but it's just so hard to see whether or not that ball ever got loose and actually touched the ground.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is overturned.
They will overturn this one, saying it hit the ground.
And really those trap catches are so difficult because the officials are stationed around the perimeter of the play, and a lot of times they just don't get a good look, one that we can see much better sometimes on television.
He drops back to pass. Fires it out. It's tipped away. Oh my, the quarterback is lucky that one wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, you try and fit some of those into some tight holes, and every once in a while you're going to get one pick, but that was a pretty good play by the defense.
Drops back. Gets the ball away. Completed. He's tackled around the 33-yard line. He's there for the catch once again. That's number 2 on this offensive possession.
Yeah, you hear all the time about quarterbacks getting into a rhythm, but sometimes a quarterback and a receiver can get into a rhythm where the quarterback begins to look to one guy a little bit more because he feels more comfortable, and I think that's beginning to happen now.
Looking to throw. He passes middle. Just clangs right off his hand. And the defender breaks up the play.
Just great position that time on the defensive side. The receiver really never had a chance on that one.
Ace backfield this time. Indianapolis changing their play.
James, 22 press. James. Hey, you get ready to play some D, baby. What's the call? Jam free. Opposite. Come on, man.
He's looking to throw. Short pass. He makes a great open field tackle. 7 yards there.
Good play design there. Very solid protection. Gave the quarterback time to examine the whole field until he finally found the open man.
Manning steps to the line of scrimmage. 3 receivers split out. Manning sends a man in motion. Fakes to the back. Can't connect on that one. So the offense will probably head off the field after failing to convert for a first down on that series.
Well, you're going to have to gather the troops over on the sideline because whether it was poor play calling or poor execution, they never got anything going that time.
He punts it. They down it at the 8. Not much the return man can do there.
Yeah, he really did the right thing there. That's just to let it go, get out of the way, and really just give the guy credit. It was a good kick, very fortunate bounce. The last thing in the world you want to do in that kind of a situation is to fumble the football, give it up, short field for the other team, and a quick score.
On play action, gets the throw off. He's brought down right around the 16-yard line. They hook up for a pretty good gain on that one. Nice pass.
Yeah, good pass and good confidence by the quarterback there. He saw the opening. He knew there was a spot that he could get that in there, but you could see he had the confidence to let this receiver make a play, and that's really what pro football is all about.
44 press. Work out. Yo. Come on, baby. Let's go. Keep on. Making business. Let's stop it right now. Let's get it. Come on, let's go. Hey. ADO here, ADO.
Here's the give. And they get him at the 25. And as we head to halftime, score is 17-14. Decent kick. He'll return it from the 4-yard line. That was a great hit. He wasn't getting away from that one. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports.
Come on, D, let's go off the field now. Blue 45! Blue 45! Go, baby.
He doesn't get back to the line. Nice job by the defensive end to get in there and get the tackle for the loss.
So many times it's up to that backside blocker to get his guy on the ground, and it sounds ugly, but typically those guys are chopping at their knees and trying to knock them off their feet, so there's some cutback lanes.
Back to pass. Throws out right. Brought down at the 43-yard line. Everything seemed to work perfectly on that one.
And that's a pattern that this team likes to run. You know they've been studying that all week on film, and yet they still can't stop it.
48! 48! Let's roll, let's roll.
Gives it off. He's dropped for a loss. It looked as if the offensive line just collapsed that play.
And it looked like this defensive line just beat them off the snap. Sometimes those guys can time out the quarterback's cadence, and if the quarterback doesn't start changing that snap count, his offensive line is going to really struggle.
He needs to get the pass off. He's dropped at about the 47-yard line. Another fine passing catch on that play.
I know we all talk about 40-yard dash times in the NFL, but as a receiver, if you are a great route runner and you understand what the defenses are trying to do to you, it doesn't matter if you run a 4.3 40. If you can get in and out of your cuts like this guy, you will always be able to play.
And he pushes ahead for the first down.
I like that call there. Put the ball in the hands of one of your playmakers and let them go to work. Not a big gainer there, but it's certainly a big first down.
Screen here, Quan, screen. Screen in the air. Tiger. Close up.
Croyle with the give. He's tackled at the 45. Johnson picks up a yard on the play. From the 45-yard line. Croyle is under center. He has two backs behind him.
Tennessee. 48. Tom with our hook. Friday.
Play action. Gets the pass away. And he just managed to get a piece of it. Nice play by the defender.
And as a receiver, you really have to do a better job of coming back to the football at that point. You have to help the quarterback.
He's looking to throw. Makes the grab. And they get him at the 38. That completion was almost enough for the first.
Yeah, but he just couldn't get it past the marker. Pretty good looking play that time. Able to get it close to the first down, which brings up a good fourth down decision. I think they'll go for it here.
Kick is up, and he got all of this one. I think that guy needs to go back to the sideline and practice a few more kicks. As a kicker, you have to be ready at a second's notice to be able to step out on the field and make those kind of field goals, and it didn't appear he was completely ready for that one, and the result was a miss. And the score remains the Chiefs 14, the Colts 17. He drops back to pass, makes the short throw. Brought down at about the 47-yard line. A pickup of 4.
As long as the timing's good on a slant route against zone coverage, everything's fine. If the timing's off a little bit, you can take a big shot.
Buffalo. Hard count. Let's go. No. Go together, flip. Let's go.
Manning drops back to pass. Rifles this one out to the middle. What a hit. I don't think he even saw that guy. Good job to avoid the rush and get the pass off.
When you're trying to blitz the quarterback, you better have some talented corners on the outside, because as a wideout, just give me 3 or 4 seconds against the blitz, and it is awfully tough to try and cover that.
They'll give it off here. He's dropped at the 30. They got little there, and that will bring up second down. From the 30-yard line. The Colts come out with a bunch formation on the left side. Manning adjusts the play at the line.
Here we go. Hey, down. Here we go. Lou. Go ahead.
A dive gets the ball. He's brought down at the 23-yard line. They pick up a good 6 yards there, and so it'll be third down. One man in the backfield. The Colts changing their play at the line.
Ace. Come on, make a play.
Play action. The pass is away. They finally bring him down, and it's first and goal. That was a big-time play by the receiver.
And talking to this receiver earlier this week, he told me he had a lot of plays in the playbook, and he thought he was going to have a big day.
Manning sends a man in motion.
Let the hook. Right close left. Come on.
Drops back to pass. Surtain gets the pick. And just a great interception by the cornerback.
Might want to start thinking about trying to pick on that guy. We've seen all day he has simply been quicker to the spot than the wide receivers coming into his area.
Touch. Blue 45. Blue 45. Cross right, Lucy. Right.
Drops back. Passes the ball. Tipped pass and picked off. It's a loose ball. They get it back. And chalk up another one for this defense.
3 picks on the day, and every time you think this offense is starting to get it going, they turn it over again.
They go with a run. Brought down at the 20-yard line. A gain of a yard, if anything, on the run. From their own 20-yard line. Single set backfield.
Big play, B. Look on the run. 48. You got that? 48. Touch. We got action, baby. Touch.
Feeds it to the back. He's dropped around the 22-yard line. Johnson picks up 2 yards with the carry. They'll need 8 here. 5 DBs on the field.
Blue 45.
Drops back. Looks down the field. Dumps it out right. Tight coverage, and it's picked off. To the 10. He's in for the score. And just like that, they make it a 2-possession game.
What a tremendous return that was, and even better, now you have a little breathing room when you look up at that scoreboard.
They come on the field to attempt the extra point. Here's the kick. Extra point is good. He kicks it from his own goal line. Hit and dropped at the 22-yard line. The quarterback and his receiver were clearly not on the same page last time, and it led to an interception. Johnson is the single setback. He's looking to throw. He throws left. There for the reception. He went to the short man, but the defense was right there to make the play.
Yeah, and this is one of those plays that's a lot like a long, extended handoff. He gets it out to the receiver and just lets him work on the outside. That time, though, unable to pick up much yardage.
Back to pass. Rifles this one out to the left, and they get him around the 46-yard line. They pick up solid yardage there.
And I love to watch this wide receiver work. He is so patient with his routes. He gets down low into his cuts, and he really understands what the defense is trying to do to take him away, and he is working them over.
He looks to throw on first down. Short pass to his left. Brought down at midfield. Good read of the defense on that pass play.
Yeah, and throws like that really settle a quarterback down. It's all about getting into the flow of a game, and you can see he's getting comfortable now.
They'll give it off here. He's dropped at the 46-yard line. They got 4 yards there. That'll bring up third down. 3 wide receiver. There's a play fake with a pass. He's tackled around the 32-yard line. What happened there, Chris?
Well, they got caught in man-to-man coverage on that play, and I couldn't tell if the defender slipped a little bit or not. Maybe he just got beat on the play.
Come on. Hey, let's go. Blue 45.
Croyle is looking to stay perfect on this drive. Brings this one in. Tackled right around the 28-yard line. Not much of a gain at all on that first down completion.
Pretty tough sometimes when a quarterback is looking at his first read, it's not there. The second read is there, but he knows his guy is going to get hit immediately afterwards, and that's what happened there. They took away the first and second read.
Croyle has completed every pass on this drive. Brought down behind the line. That play lost yardage.
Boy, that's just great anticipation by the defense there. They saw that play coming and were all over it.
Kansas City comes out with an I formation. Looks to pass. He throws it, and he catches it. He's dropped in the open field. Pretty good gain on that completion, but it won't be enough for the first.
And you could see the defense that time. They knew exactly where those first down chains were. They were going to allow some underneath passes, but then came up and made the tackle, and that's going to bring up fourth down. Big play that time.
Full start, offense.
And that one got him 5 yards.
Well, if you want to know why Pee Wee football coaches make you run a lap if you jump off sides, it's because it can really have a negative impact on your offense, just like that one.
Kick is up, and he got all of this one. He's got it. He really came through on that long-distance attempt.
You don't make a kick like that without a perfect hold and a perfect snap. But let's give this kicker some credit. That was an extraordinary effort.
Taken at the 5. Dropped at the 30. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Indianapolis changing their play.
Come on, let's go. Come on, D, let's get off the field now.
Manning hands off. He's dropped at the 36-yard line. A dive gains around 6 yards on the run. From the gun. Manning adjusts the play at the line. Back to throw. He throws on the run. And they get him around the 45-yard line. And that pass was moving.
Yeah, and it's not that quarterbacks without strong arms can't make it in this league. But boy, it sure is an asset to have a guy with a cannon like that.
Calls the play at the line. Indianapolis sends a man in motion to the right. Moves forward. Comes down with it. He's tackled at the 41-yard line. Nice pass and catch on that play that gets him a lot closer.
Yep, and that's really just the way they drew that one up. You take what the defense gives, looking to move the ball efficiently downfield with intermediate passes.
Manning calls an audible. He drops back. Rifles it out there. Brought down right around the 26-yard line. The quarterback just rifled that one in there for a good game.
Everybody knows about this guy's arm strength, and if you wanted to see an example of it, right there it was.
Indianapolis using an audible. Setting up play action. He catches another. The wide receiver and the quarterback are on the same page today.
Yeah, and this wideout really is something special. He's able to find the holes in the coverage. He gets good separation, and he has tremendous hands.
Adjustment at the line now.
Come on, D. Stay down. Keep coming. Over top, two straight. I got him. Right.
Fakes the run. Brings it in. He's brought down at the 5-yard line. Gain of 4 on that play action pass. They line it up at the 4-yard line. Adai lines up as the deep back, I formation. Manning doesn't like what he sees. Passes to the end zone. And the pass falls incomplete. Wayne was the intended receiver, but they can't complete the pass. Manning is under center. They'll come out in an I. They're calling an audible. Pitch out. He gets in for 6.
Joseph Adai is really becoming a bit of a show when he gets around the end zone. I can remember a few years back, he's jumping over the top of players, big plays in the playoff games, great runner in the open field, and once again he shows his explosiveness and gets it in the end zone.
The kick is up. It's good. Here's a quick look at the drive summary. He kicks it off. And he'll return this one from the 7. Still going. Drilled at the 32-yard line. The offense takes the field, hoping to come away with more than just a field goal on this drive. Out of the I formation.
Tiger. Go. Tango off the top.
Drops back on first down. And the defense has a heavy rush. And he's depleted at the 40. Nothing wrong with that pass. It goes for a good gain.
And when you talk to some of these receivers, they say the real strength of this quarterback is that he throws a very, very catchable ball.
Goes left. 48. 48. Woo, woo, woo.
He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That started off poorly and only got worse.
And you could see the running back there just saying, where are my guys? Where's my blocking? What's going on out here? Just need a little help from your friends.
Passes it. Can't stay in bounds. Incomplete pass. He couldn't get 2 feet in on that one.
Well, that's something receivers work on all the time, dragging that back toe, just unable to do it that time.
Holtwit punts it, and he really got a leg into this one. Fielded at the 19. Tackled around the 27-yard line. They were able to put together a nice drive on their last possession. They'll be looking to make it 2 in a row on this drive. There are 2 tight ends in the formation. The quarterback is in the gun. Manning changes the play at the line. Drops back on first down. Throws while on the run. At the 40, at the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Gets in for the touchdown.
Reggie Wayne may not be the fastest receiver in the game, but he gets separation, and really that's the key. It's not about can you run by somebody, your moves, you're in and out of your cuts, but it's about separation at the point of attack, and he does that as well as anybody, and it leads to touchdowns, and he got another one there.
Here's the kick. It's good. Here's the kick. Fielded at the 4. At the 30. Big hit there to bring him down. Let's see if the offense can put something together on this drive. The backfield is in the offset I formation. They'll throw on first down. Rolling right. There for the catch. And he dropped him in the open field. That's a gain of 8. And that'll bring this quarter to an end. Our score is the Colts 38, the Chiefs 17. Second down and 2 to go. Ball on the 46. Quarterback is in the gun. He has 3 receivers in the formation. The Chiefs put a man in motion. Drops back. Strong throw. And they get him right around the 34-yard line. That was a good-looking throw.
Yeah, great throw, but maybe even a better read. He understood by watching what the defense did after the snap of the football exactly where to go with that ball.
Let's get off. Blue 45. Go, Blue 45. What's the call? Turbo.
Here's the give. Brought down at the 30. He gets 4, maybe 5 yards on the counter.
Gain of 5.
Kansas City lines up in the offset I this time.
Let's go, y'all. Let's go. 48. Regular. Hey. Block 99 Philly.
Back to pass. Surveys the field. Bethea picks it off. That's his 5th pick of the game. Unbelievable.
Tom, I have to tell you, I was the worst quarterback in the history of the planet. I played through high school and my freshman year of college, and not even I could throw 5 interceptions in one game. I tried, but I never did do that.
Put it up. Don't give him a yard. Come on, dog. Let's go. Let's the slim backside. Stay in your lane.
Drops back to pass. Huge pressure by the defense. He's tackled at the 47-yard line. Good yardage that time on the pass.
And that was a little Hermes, and we saw it there.
Indianapolis changing their play.
Regular. Let's roll. Left call. Please, look. Come on, D, let's get off the field now.
Looking for a receiver. Makes the reception. He steps out at the 45. Good job locating the gap in the coverage on that play.
You know, that's the kind of pass pattern I used to always love to run, because if the defense is even a little bit lax in their coverage, it's pretty easy to get that one in there.
Charlie, close left. Left. Hey, come on. Here we go.
Here's the give. He's brought down at the 45. He barely got it past the line of scrimmage that time, and that makes it third down.
Let's stop. Let's go.
Manning lines up under center. They'll line up in single back. The Colts changing their play at the line.
Alert, run. Rush. Close on. Stay right. Other side.
Tosses it out. Brought down at the 38. The defense couldn't figure out a way to come up with a stop on that third down attempt.
And let's give that big offensive line a little credit there. They knew they were going to have to drive this defense off the ball, and that's exactly what they did on that one.
Hey, play the run. Right. I got you. Hey, let's make some plays now.
Fakes the run. Looks down the field. With the catch. Great open field tackle. This guy seemingly can't be stopped. He's now thrown for 400 yards in the game.
Yeah, and at times he really makes it look easy out there. These wide receivers deserve a little credit, too. They're doing a lot of work getting open down the field. But this quarterback's pretty special.
Regular. Let's smash free. Hold on. Come on, baby. Hit, bump in.
Here's the give. They tackle him for a loss. What can they do to slow his pursuit down?
This guy's really one of the strengths on this defense. Not only is he able to turn the corner and get some pressure on the quarterback, but he's rock solid against the run.
Indianapolis changing their play.
Roger. Which way, Roger, Slam? Let's go get it. Go.
Setting up play action. Page gets the interception. At some point, do you think about putting the backup in there?
Well, either that or think about trading for some of these defensive backs and making them wide receivers, because this quarterback's had no problem hitting them all day.
Blue 45.
Croyle hands it off straight ahead. He's dropped right around the 10-yard line. 4-yard gain by the back. 2nd and 6. Ball on their own 11. Johnson, the lone back.
Swim.
Drops back to pass. Short throw to the left. He steps out at the 16. And that one's good for 5 yards through the air.
Hey, no need to force it. He just took what the defense gave him there, found the open man, and picked up a few yards.
Croyle steps up to the line. 3 wide receivers. He drops back to pass. Here's the pass. Makes the catch. That one worked pretty well.
It sure did, and I wish all our fans could see what's happening down the field on all our television broadcasts, because so much of the game now is won and lost in the secondary.
Back to throw. The defense has him surrounded. Oh, and he dropped it. Darling wasn't able to bring it in. Incomplete pass on the play. They line up at the 33. Nickel package on defense.
Tiger. Right, Linda. Hey, no. Let's go.
Drops back. Goes through his read. Makes the catch. The wideout has put on quite a display out there en route to a 100-yard performance.
And there really just isn't anything this receiver can't do. Just keep feeding him the football. I don't care what the coverage is. This is a guy that wants the ball in tough situations.
He's running out of time. Broken up. The pass was deflected and swatted away by the defender.
I think the quarterback may have had to throw that ball a little sooner than he wanted to. The pressure was starting to get there.
48. Go make this run, baby. Come on, little hustle.
He drops back to pass. Gets it off. Hit him in the hands, but he can't hang on. An excellent job by the defense of disrupting that last play.
And that was really on the wide receiver. Not much of a route, very little separation, and gave the defense a chance to make that play.
And they used motion.
There we go.
Croyle drops back. Passes to his left. Tackled at about the 41. Despite the great effort, it will still bring up fourth. Indianapolis lines up with 5 defensive backs. Drops back to pass. Throws it into traffic, and it's picked off. He threw that thing into heavy coverage.
And sometimes when you have a quarterback that has a really strong arm, they think they can do things that they simply cannot. You cannot force that football into that kind of coverage in this league.
Indianapolis changing their play.
Tennessee. Defense out. Look at that flip. Come on now. Gotcha.
He drops back. Strong throw to his right. Out of bounds, incomplete. Harrison wasn't able to bring it in. Incomplete pass on the play. The Colts come out in the shotgun. There are 3 receivers wide. Calls this one at the line.
Let the hook. Alert, Marcus! We're talking about Brian. Let's go. Come on, D. Keep working.
Manning takes it back. Surveys the field. He's there for the catch. He's dropped around the 40-yard line. Good pickup by the receiver.
And we've always talked about this receiver's big play ability. He may not be the fastest guy in the league, but you can tell he wants the ball in his hands in big situations.
Indianapolis using an audible.
Inside. Hey, pick 6 right here. Pick 6. Freeze it. Green, 2 man. Buffalo.
He drops back to pass. Catch is made. And not a whole lot of yardage gained on that one, Chris.
And that's one of those plays where you leave it up to the receiver to make yardage after the catch is made. When he can't find his way into open space, you'll see plays like that.
Let's go. Right, who's right? Now play it. There you go, G. Rigo. Richmond. Hard count, it's on 3. Hey, Rex.
He drops back. Scans the field. Steps out at the 47-yard line. A dive gains about 4 yards there. So that'll make it 3rd down. Only 1 man back. Manning calls an audible. The Colts put a man in motion.
Come on. Same thing. New call.
Back to throw. Looking for an open man. Hit and dropped behind the line. He stopped short of the line on the play.
He just couldn't make anything happen after he brought it in. Good job by the defense.
The Chiefs have everyone on the line. Looks like they're coming after this one. Gets it away cleanly. He fields the punt at the 16. Brought down at about the 21. The quarterback leads his offense back onto the field after turning it over on their last drive. Nickelback is in on this play.
Luke 45.
Looking to throw. Moves forward. And it's caught. He just couldn't make anything happen after bringing that one in.
And that play is really all about the closing speed on defense. They'll let you have the completion, but then they close quickly and make the play.
Back to throw. Looking for a receiver. Is there for the catch. Bo gains about 4 yards there. We've got 3rd and 3 here. The quarterback is in the gun. Empty backfield. 5 wide receivers in the formation. He drops back to pass. Fails to connect with the pass. They fail to convert, and you've got to think they'll have to go for it this late in the game.
Yeah, that was not what they were looking for on those first 3 downs, and now the pressure really comes to bear on 4th down.
Holquist punts it, and he kicked this one pretty well. Rushing, fields it at the 26. And they get him right around the 46-yard line. What happened to the coverage on that one, Chris?
You know, they just completely misjudged his speed on that one. It looked like they had him contained, but he made a nice move, broke free of the coverage, just a couple more steps, and he was gone.
The Colts changing their play at the line.
No, stay low. Under. Play your assignments, man. Hey, defense, get low. Come on.
Feeds it to the back. And he makes it out to about the 47-yard line. A gain of a yard, if anything, on the run. A dive, the lone back. The Colts changing their play at the line. Back to throw. He throws right, and he caught it. He's knocked out at the 21-yard line. That's probably the last thing this defense wanted to see. They bring the blitz, only to have the offense call a screen pass.
Well, as we all know, the screen is the ultimate call against the blitz. Everybody coming after the quarterback, you simply let them go, dump it over their heads, and that makes for a big play.
Indianapolis goes with the ace set here. Manning changes the play at the line.
Over tough, 2 straight. Hey, regular. King. Rainbow.
Manning on 1st down, under heavy pressure. Oh, you gotta catch that. What a play by the defender.
And the quarterback really caught a break on that one, that wasn't intercepted.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 21. Changes this one at the line.
Reset. Who's left? Let's go now. Let's go get it, baby. Get ready. Let's get some energy. Let's go.
He's looking to throw. He didn't get his feet set as he threw. 8-yard gain on the play. That'll make it 3rd down. They line up in the shotgun, 3 wide.
Blue 20.
They're calling an audible.
Come on, y'all. Watch those quick out. I near. Ace. Let's get off this field, man. Let's get that ball back. We up.
And they'll try and get the first through the air. Steps out at about the 7-yard line. He gunned that one in there for the 1st down, didn't he?
He really did, and when you watch a guy throw a ball that hard, they don't move their arm any faster. You see them driving off that back leg. That was a pretty pass.
Stay on side. Watch the back. Whoever got the back. Regular.
Huge pressure by the defense. Falls incomplete. They can't complete the pass. Now the offense will be looking at 2nd down from the 8-yard line. Adai lines up as the single back. Manning sends a man in motion.
Let's go. Here we go. Here we go, D. Hey, 10. Hey, watch the screen. Come on, D. Let's get off the field now.
Adai gets the call. He's brought down just outside the goal line. Adai gets 6 yards on the play. So here we go. It's 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. and they'll line this one up with two tight ends. Manning calls an audible.
Solid, close left. Alert, run, alert, run, alert, run. Come on, G. And play 3, man.
He'll get the call again. It's a fumble. And they keep control of the ball. They'll tack on another one. And here's the extra point. Here's the kick. And the point after is good. And here's your drive summary for that last series. Kicks it off. And he'll return this one from the 7. He's hammered at the 29-yard line. The defense played exceptionally well the last time this offense had the ball.
Reload.
The Chiefs come out in a single back formation.
245. 245. Turbo. Hey, watch the sideline. Block, now stay.
Inside give. He gets knocked out of bounds right around the 38-yard line. 10-yard pickup on the play.
Well, they brought the blitz that time. The offensive line did a pretty good job recognizing it. They got the blocks, but the back was still able to get out of there for a nice gain.
And it looked like they jumped early.
Go get him. Hey, come on. Just hold up.
Full start, offense.
He moved a little early on that one.
I used to always think that offensive linemen should go to the line of scrimmage and hold up either one finger or two fingers and look down when they get confused.
Yeah. 56. Nickel. Touch. 48. Hey, let's go, baby. 48. Touch. Hey, let's go now. Right.
He's looking to throw. Throws to the middle. Pass incomplete. I'm not sure who he was throwing it to on that last play.
Yeah, even the wide receiver was looking around after that play and going, was that to me?
The Chiefs line up with 4 wideouts.
Hey, don't lose your bite.
Gonzalez goes in motion.
Watch the run. Over. Raider.
Looks to pass. Looks for a man open. Pass is complete. Tackled at about the 45-yard line. And that one will go for a first.
And really top-notch quarterbacks know how to throw a football in there without leading his receiver into trouble. That was a great throw.
48. Come on, 48.
Johnson left side. What a brutal hit. Johnson picks up 5 yards with the carry. They line up at the 41. Kansas City lines up in a shotgun set.
988. Get your hands up front. King's right.
Drops back. Throws it short. And it's completed. And they get him at the 35. That was a 6-yard completion, and we'll have 1st and 10 coming up.
That's such a hard play to try and contain as a defensive player. You simply can't afford to give up the big plays, so you have to give them something. And typically it's those short, quick throws, that time for a first down.
He looks to throw on 1st down. Dumps it out right. He's tackled at the 27. The defense didn't have a chance on that one. Great throw that time.
Yeah, really not much a defense can do when you get a guy that can throw the football like that. You know, you get yourselves in position defensively, you think you're in the right spot, you're going to make a play, and a guy makes a throw like that and you go, hey, that's a good throw.
Guns it out. It's completed. He's finally dragged down, and now it will be 1st and goal. 1st down, goal to go. Indianapolis brings in the nickel here. Back to pass. Goes for the end zone. 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. A great play by the defense to knock the ball away.
And these defenders have been close all day. You better be careful if you're the quarterback. One of those is going to turn into an interception.
And free tickets to a future home game.
Looking to throw. End zone. It's broken up. Bo was his intended target on that one, but they can't complete the pass. It's third down. They'll need 8 yards here for the score. The Chiefs come out with the offset eye.
No refunds will be issued. Please note that at that point, you will be responsible for finding alternative partners.
Croyle dropping back. Bo can't make the catch. He tried to thread the needle on that last one and threw it right into coverage.
Well, you have to admire his courage. He's not afraid to make any throw, anytime, anywhere, but he's lucky that one wasn't picked off.
Drops back. Goes through his read. And the QB can't escape the pressure. They line up at the 17. Indianapolis goes with the ace set here. Manning adjusts the play at the line.
20. Let's go, D. What's the call? Hey, say. Hey. What you doing?
Guns it right. Pass completed. They fall on it. He's down the sideline. The receiver should have held on to that.
Wide receivers are pretty good at catching the football. They're not always good at running with the football. It takes a lot of strength to hold on to that ball, and he gave it up.
Croyle is in the gun. 3 wide formation.
Left. Luke 45. Luke 45. Come on, dog. Let's go. Screen.
He looks to throw on first down. He passes short. He's brought down around the 27-yard line. Strong, accurate throw leads to a pretty good gain.
Now, they didn't pick up the first down that time, but you drop back, you make a good throw like that. Now you're in position to try and pick up this first down.
Play action. Fires it right. Completed. They finally get him, and it looked like he would score, but instead they'll set it up with first and goal. Calls the play at the line. Back to pass. Short throw to the right. And he's out of bounds, incomplete. They complete the pass, but he was out of bounds when he brought it in.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe throw there where only the receiver can make a play on the ball. Just a little too wide on that one.
Back to throw. He's running out of time. And we have a flag on the play. But hold on, there's a flag at the line of scrimmage. Holding. That usually means bad things for the offense. And I really didn't see the hold there.
Honestly, Tom, there is holding on every single play. I mean, the rule changes now allow for the guys to grab, but you have to keep inside the framework of the defensive player. As long as you do that, it typically doesn't get called. It did there.
Looking to throw. Throws on the run. Tackled around the 1-yard line. And simply a great throw there.
Yeah, that really was a nice touch that time. Perfect sort of combination of velocity and touch. A very catchable ball thrown by this quarterback so that you don't have to overly focus on what you're doing and you can get your eyes back down the field, try and get a good run after the catch.
Outstanding play to the wide receiver as he took it the distance.
Well, that's just a big-time pitch and catch right there. The quarterback made a beautiful throw, but it was the route by the wide receiver that set it up. He was as open as I've seen all afternoon.
Extra point is good. And we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. Cundiff will try to hit this ball just right to get a good bounce for the onside kick. Here's the onside try. They recovered it. That was a pretty sloppy effort to try to recover that by the return team.
They had to see that onside kick coming. I'm just a little surprised at the lack of urgency, the complacency on a play like this. You better not get too comfortable with this lead, or it could disappear quickly.
Looks to pass. All kinds of pressure. Makes the grab. Knocked out of bounds right around the 50-yard line. Nice job by the quarterback to hit the tight end for a decent gain.
You know, tight ends may not come up with those real explosive plays down the field all the time, but they sure are a nice target for the quarterback.
Setting up play action. Short pass to his left. He's tackled at the 37. They pick up several yards there on the pass.
And that fake really was the difference. Not only did the quarterback sell it, the running back sold it, the offensive line did, and the receiver was open for a nice play.
That's the arm strength we've been talking about all week.
And you know the amazing thing about this guy? We all talk about his arm strength, but did you see how fluid that delivery was? He didn't even look like he was trying to throw it hard.
And he's crossed the century mark in receiving yards. This has been one heck of a performance.
And Tom, I don't think he's finished yet. This is a guy that is on a roll right now, and this defense really doesn't have an answer for him.
And that'll be his third scoring strike of the game. Lining up for the point after. The snap, set down, the kick is up. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. The kick is away. They get him at the 25. From their own 25-yard line. We should just see the quarterback take a knee right here, winding down the rest of this clock. And he'll just kneel it here. And that'll do it for us. Our final in this one is the Colts 45, the Chiefs 31.